Shoulders are just a muscle group that really responds well to lightweight and high reps and strict form. Hey guys, I'm Mark McKilly with Live Anabolic, and today I want to show you my single favorite exercise for building big shoulders. And the nice thing about it is it's also the safest exercise to do, especially for us old guys. So shoulders are just a fantastic muscle group to spend a lot of time building, because I think most guys kind of neglect it because everybody wants to do biceps and chest, right? But shoulders make you look big and wide and impressive, okay? So I love doing shoulders. Matter of fact, that's probably my favorite day at the gym. I dedicated a whole day to just shoulders. And I'm gonna show you the exercise that I do every single time I go to the gym and hit my shoulders, and also it's the one that puts the least amount of stress on my joint. But before I get to that exercise, first I just want to remind you guys, we have a free resource in our Facebook group. And if you all have not looked into it before, just log on or just ask to join, because it is a membership site. It's totally free. All right, so you don't have to like Facebook or anything. I don't like Facebook. Just create a simple account. Don't use your own name. Don't put any pictures. Just absorb all the good vibes and the energy that comes from our group. We have over 15,000 guys around the world, and they're all just like you. They're all in their 50s and 60s and 70s. We got some guys in their 40s and in their 80s. And basically, they're asking the same kind of questions that you would ask me. And so I'm on there every day answering questions, but all the other guys in there are answering each other's questions and motivating each other. And a lot of guys are posting progress pictures, which are real inspirational to kind of help all the new guys along. So anyway, it's a free resource, and without a doubt, by far and away, the best fitness group on all of Facebook. All right, so we're gonna be doing my favorite exercise today. It's just called lateral raises, okay? You can do lateral raises with some dumbbells, but if you don't have dumbbells at home, you can also do them with bands. I'm gonna show you how to do both methods, and then before I get there, I wanna kind of explain what's going on. So our shoulder joint is the most flexible joint in our entire body, okay? I mean, you can articulate your arms in all these different directions, basically 360 degrees. But because it's so flexible, it also makes it very vulnerable. It's very weak, it's fragile. And that's why so many of you guys have got bad shoulders. You've hurt your shoulders over the years doing something, okay? So this is a great exercise, not only to just strengthen your shoulders and help prevent injuries, but it's also great for you guys that have injuries. And I talk to lots of guys, they say, Mark, I can't lift my hands over my head. It hurts my shoulder too much. Well, this is a fantastic exercise because you don't have to lift your hands over your head, all right? We can get a lot of shoulder activation, a lot of that muscle mass activated just doing this movement, guys. It's real straightforward. So I want to show you a few tricks here, all right? Now, the first thing is you don't need much weight. Shoulders are just a muscle group that really responds well to lightweight and high reps and strict form, okay? It really does well. Matter of fact, you'll see a lot of these big professional bodybuilders, and they don't do a whole lot of weight for their shoulders, but they do crazy good form, lots of reps and lots of sets. All right, so guys, I just like to take the dumbbells and I keep my feet pretty close together, all right? And the other thing is just bend over slightly. Okay, so I'm gonna show you from the side. All right, I just kind of bend over just about that much and stick your butt out. Because if you don't stick your butt out, if you just bend over like this, you kind of round your back, all right? And you'll put a little stress on your lower back. So the easy way is just stick your butt out. And that's all you have to do. All right, so butt out. And now I'm gonna focus on not lifting the weights, I wanna focus on lifting my elbows. All right, so this is the mind-muscle connection I want you guys to think about. So if you're looking out here at your hands like this, oh, I don't wanna do that, all right? If you bring your elbows up, it's gonna drag the dumbbells along with them. And it also happens to bring them up in a really good position to minimize the torque and stress on your shoulder joint, all right? We wanna put a lot of stress on the muscle, but we don't wanna put a lot of stress on the joint. And one way to avoid that is this. You have to worry about your hand position. So if you bring the dumbbells up like this, okay, man, it's only 15 pounds and I can feel a real uncomfortable pain really in my shoulder. Now, if I bring the dumbbells up like this, horizontal, almost like you're trying to pour water out of them, it doesn't hurt my shoulders, okay? So real quick, guys, I'm gonna put the dumbbells down. I just wanna talk to you about this. All of y'all are gonna have different types of shoulder injuries, okay? I'm gonna put some pictures up on the screen. It's the most complex joint in our body, as I mentioned earlier, and it's got unbelievable number of muscles and tendons crossing over and under and around and all these different bones. I don't even pretend to memorize all the different muscles that are involved in your shoulder. So these pictures that we're gonna show on the screen will kind of hopefully, get that point across. It's just super complicated, which means tons of you guys are gonna have shoulder problems, but they're not the same, okay? And this is where I want you guys to do. Listen to your body. So I want you to get some super light weights, 5 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, I don't care. And I want you to experiment with these lateral raises, okay? And don't just raise it up here. Experiment with your hands, okay? Twist your wrists and your forearms in slightly different angles, okay? And while you're doing this, just go through 3 or 4 reps. See how it feels to you, guys. All right, because I can show you, this is the form I want you to use. I don't want those thumbs pointed up. I want those thumbs pointed kind of in when you're holding the dumbbells, maybe even down slightly, all right? And you bend over just a tiny bit, all right? That really takes the stress off of all these little impingement areas inside your shoulder because it's really crowded in there. All right, you got all these tendons and ligaments and muscles trying to go through some little holes and over other muscles and under some muscles, and there's just not a lot of room. And you hear about people getting, impingements in their shoulders. Well, that's what's going on. If you get inflammation, all right, then the muscle expands or the tendon expands due to the inflammation. Now there's even less room for them to get around each other, and then it really starts hurting. So this is the exercise I want you to do, the basic movement, but just make a tiny adjustments with your hands, all right, and see which way feels good for your particular shoulders. And then from then on, just use that technique. All right, one more thing here, guys. I like to bring these things up here to about shoulder height, okay? And I saw a guy at the gym today doing this, all right? He was, I'm getting almost no shoulder exercise here. I could keep doing this because I'm just using my back and momentum to just throw the weights up. So it really is about form. So you want to feel the weight, and then control it down, okay? So if you bring it up slow and then let it fall, you're not getting any contraction on the eccentric part, okay? So the concentric is when the muscle's contracting, and of course that you have to contract. But then on the eccentric is when you're lowering the weight. You need to resist the weight the whole way, okay? Now, guys, what happens if you can't raise the dumbbells that high because of your shoulder problems? This is so easy, guys, and you can still get great workouts. All right? I guarantee you, all you guys, even the guys with shoulder problems, you can do this, all right? Now, because you're not going very high, it means you'll probably be able to use a little bit more weight. Just experiment. Everybody's gonna be different, but don't do this because, that hurts my shoulder. All right, so. And then because you're not going through a big range of motion, guys, make sure you're going really nice and slow. Matter of fact, you could even hold it at the top. 1, 2, down slow. 1, 2, down slow. So guys, just 15 pounds. And I was getting a really good burn just talking to you, just demonstrating this, all right? So it's amazing what you can do with very little weight. But what happens if you don't have dumbbells? Let me show you trick number 2. All right, well, this is my second tip for doing lateral raises. And this is a tip that you can do anywhere because bands are really inexpensive and you can stick them in your suitcase when you're traveling, okay? So especially if you don't have any dumbbells at home right now, this is a great exercise. You're gonna get basically the same benefit. And of course, it's real important when you set the bands up here that you get equal lengths on both sides, all right? Otherwise, if one's longer than the other, you're gonna have way more resistance on one side, all right? So, same exact form, guys. Bend my legs, my knees just a little bit, which means I'm sticking my butt out. I'm leaning forward just a tiny bit, and then I'm concentrating on bringing my elbows up, and my hands just naturally follow. And then the position of my hands is like this. If I have my thumbs up, I'll start to feel it. I'll start to feel an impingement, okay? So, kind of a neutral grip. So at the top here, if you opened your hands, and I can't open them because of these, my palms would be facing down. So at the top, you know, if I'm gripping a dumbbell or this handle, it's like this. But if I opened it with no weight, my palms would be facing down. That's the neutral position I want you guys to be in. So if your palm is facing like this with the thumb up, I promise you, you're gonna feel it probably in your shoulders. But remember, everybody's different. Some of you guys, that might bother you a little bit. And then you might just do this just a little bit with your thumb pointing down a little bit, and it might solve your problem, all right? So you have to experiment, guys. So here we go. Now, what happens if the band is just so stiff that you can't even do 2 or 3 reps? What's the trick? How do I do this? Let me show you. All you gotta do is make the band basically longer, okay? And I can start here and then go down. Now, see down here at the bottom, there's no resistance. And that's why I don't like this. But this is the trick you can do. Now, another way to get kind of in between my knees and standing straight up. All right, so straight up, let's pretend like this was too heavy for you, okay? You just don't have the right color band, all right? All you gotta do. Just bit my knees like that. You get stronger with this color. You can stand up a little higher. There's more tension now because I've had to stretch the band further from the starting point. And then of course, when I'm standing up high, the starting point is even lower, which means I have to stretch the band even more. Now guys, if y'all have really good shoulders and it doesn't bother you, you can go up to, you know, eyeball height, all right? You don't have to stop here. But that's another thing, whereas everybody's gonna be different. You need to experiment and just listen to your body, guys. All right, so guys, I love doing shoulders. I think they're really impressive. They also look impressive when you're wearing a shirt. You know, it isn't like you have to take your shirt off to notice a guy with really good shoulders. It just makes you look wider. And like I've said a lot of other times previously, if you have wide shoulders, it makes your waist look a lot smaller. Even if you're carrying an extra 10, 15, 20 pounds that you're trying to lose, big wide back, big wide shoulders makes your stomach look a lot smaller. Everything's relative, guys. And then remember, great exercises aren't going to build great shoulders unless you stick with it and never give up on yourself.